Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Tonight's game features the Chicago Bulls and your New York Knicks. The head coach of the Bulls is Phil Jackson. Now for the Bulls starting lineup. At guard at 6'6", from Miami of Ohio, number 9, Ron Harper. At guard at 6'6", from North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. At forward at 6'11", from Croatia, number 7, Toni Kukoc. At forward at 6'7", from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scottie Pippen. And at center at 6'8", from Southeast Oklahoma State, number 91, Dennis Rodman. Luke Longley, Randy Brown are injured and will not play. For your New York Knicks, the head coach is Jeff Van Gundy. Is injured and will not play. Tonight's officials are Joe Crawford, Mike Callahan,
and now let's check in courtside with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Rob. You know that the New York Knicks are the oldest team in the NBA. You can look at that one of two ways, as just they're old, or you can look at it the way the Chicago Bulls look at it, that they are a veteran team that has a lot of pride and a lot of heart, which they showed last week when they beat the Lakers. Now, Michael Jordan, on this being his last game, he says he doesn't want to say that this is his last game here in the Garden because that would not only be disrespectful to the Knicks, but also they may end up playing him again in the playoffs. Now, Isaiah talked about it being a love affair with Michael here in the Garden, and Michael says that because of that love affair, he's going to do something special. And that special something is wearing his original Air Jordan shoes. And he said he also hopes to give him about 55. Bob?
All right, Ahmad, thanks. We told you about the Knick injuries, including, of course, Patrick Ewing out, and now Chris Dudley is back up at center, following him onto the injured list. That means Charles Oakley is at center tonight. But the Bulls have also made some moves. Luke Longley, with an injured knee, didn't make the trip in from Chicago. He misses his third straight game. And Randy Brown goes on the injured list with a strained left Achilles. Steve Kerr, their best three-point shooter, finally back after missing a couple of months with a separated shoulder, told me before the game he feels pretty close to 100% and could play his usual quota of minutes if called upon to do so.
Well, with Steve Kerr being back in the lineup, that gives the Chicago Bulls the type of three-point shooting that they need.
Rodman and Oakley, although Kukoc at 6'11" will jump center, Rodman and Oakley making for an interesting matchup in the middle. And the tip controlled by Chicago. Joey Crawford, Mike Callahan, and Greg Willard are the officials tonight. Larry Johnson on Kukoc, who misses the game's first shot. Rodman keeps it alive, but he can't hit. And Oakley is there, playing extremely well. The numbers reflect that, since they moved him from a forward spot to the middle after Dudley's injury. We welcome those of you who watched the Seattle-Minnesota game. A good one, a 99-98 Sonic win. Here's Larry Johnson hitting. for the first points of this game between the Knicks and the Bulls. Welcome to the Garden. Bob Costas with Isaiah Thomas. Larry Johnson has really stepped it up, as has Allen Houston, picking up some of the slack offensively since the departure of Patrick Ewing. Harper got it to Pippen, but then it was knocked away and into the hands of Houston. Charlie Ward. With a good dish, and Johnson with his second basket.
Well, Johnson seems to be trying to have his way with Pippen inside. That's a mismatch that Van Gundy would try to exploit early in the game.
Kukoc out of the corner. A two-point basket just inside the line.
Now, Larry Johnson will have problems with Kukoc because he can go inside and outside.
Kukoc has played much better as a starter than off the bench this year. Chris Mills with Kukoc on him. Cross-court pass intercepted by Michael. Cut off by Houston. Dishes to the driving Pippen. The Bulls tie it at 4. Charlie Ward nearly had a triple-double on Friday night against Philadelphia. 17 points, 9 assists, 8 boards. Fires a long one and hits it. Three-pointer for Ward. He's one of the league's best.
Charlie Ward's an excellent three-point shooter. He wants to get into the lane also, though.
Jordan hasn't attempted a shot yet. Here's his first. Spins out. Rebound Mills. Johnson against Pippen. Into the lane. Left hands it up and misses it. Chased to the side by Oakley, but it belongs to Chicago. That was the first misfire on a field goal attempt for the Knicks tonight. They're 3 for 4.
Now, when Larry Johnson puts it on the floor, Chicago wants to come with a double team. Larry Johnson wants to back Pippen into the lane, use his upper body strength on the smaller Pippen, but Kukoc will come on the double team.
Pippen around Mills into the lane, and he banks it home.
Now, this is a matchup that Pippen will be able to exploit with Chris Mills. Pippen can put it on the floor, drive around him. Chris Mills not necessarily known for his defense, but on the other end, he'll try to take Pippen on the outside.
Pippen with 4 of Chicago's 6 points. Houston, baseline jumper. Allen Houston finally is something of a go-to guy early in his career. Of course, Grant Hill was there and Joe Dumars in Detroit. And here in New York, until the injury, it was Ewing. Pippen.
Well, the change in Van Gundy's offense, they're not a power team now. They don't go to Patrick Ewing in the middle. They like to run Allen Houston off baseline screens, and they want to make Michael Jordan work tonight and chasing him around those screens.
Scotty with 6 of Chicago's 8. Houston with the turnaround, and he drills another one. Man, he's playing with confidence. He looks like a different guy. Looks like the guy the Knicks thought they were getting when they signed him a year ago. Pippen takes it right to the hole and draws the foul.
But you see, New York wants to make Jordan work. They want to run him off screen. They got Houston coming off baseline. He gives him the fake, and he goes up for the shot. Caught Michael Jordan coming around, and he chased him a little too far. Allen Houston told us before the game that his best defense against Jordan is a good offense. A lot of players, when they play against Michael Jordan, they forget that they have to score. Allen Houston wants to come out and establish himself early tonight.
Pippen off to a good start with 7 as he hits the free throw. The Bulls haven't played since Tuesday when they had an easy walk through the United Center against Denver. That night, the Knicks beat the Nets here, and since then, they played twice on the road, losing at Washington and at Philadelphia Thursday and Friday. This is their 3rd game in 4 days. Chicago, on the other hand, should have fresh legs for this one. Knicks lead at 11-10. Houston is open. 3 in a row.
But Charlie Ward just did a very smart thing right there. Van Gundy called a high screen and roll for he and Oakley at top. He waved Oakley off, and he made him go down to the baseline because he knows he's got a hot man in Houston, and he wants to keep getting him the ball.
Gave him a good look at the 3, which gives the Knicks a 14-10 lead.
You see, Houston to come around the screen again. They want to keep Michael Jordan chasing. Charlie Ward had called it off. Michael Jordan gets caught on the screen. Houston for 3.
Foul was on Larry Johnson. Bulls ball out of bounds. Kukoc around Oakley. Pippen. Michael from 20. There's his first basket.
Now, when you look at Chicago out on the floor right now, they have Kukoc, Pippen, and Jordan. 3 guys who can penetrate and get it to the lane and create shots for others.
A look at Michael's first basket of the night. He had missed his opening attempt. Now he's 1 for 2. The Knicks, on the other hand, have hit 6 of 7 from the field. Timeout with 7:13 to play in the quarter. New York 14, Chicago 12. Rainy outside Madison Square Garden, and Scottie Pippen raining points on the Knicks early. He's hit all 3 from the field and 2 of 2 from the line.
What makes Michael and Scottie so special is Michael knows how to use Scottie. He understands how to set him up. He brings him down, feeds him, takes the pressure off of himself. Scottie brings it early. All the focus is on Jordan right now. Pippen, in the last 11 games, you see him starting to pick it up. Jordan starting to use him more, getting him ready for their playoff run and their playoff stretch.
Charlie Ward, who has 4 assists already, plus a basket, with the dribble up top. Now to Chris Mills, who stumbles and recovers. Kukoc all over him, 8 on the 24. 5 seconds to shoot. Houston lets it go, and it's there for him again.
Again, Charlie Ward finding his hot man.
A step inside the line, a 2-point bucket, 16-12 New York. The Knicks come out sizzling, hitting 7 of their first 8, including 4 of them by Houston. Swatted away by Oakley, out of bounds, and it's still Chicago ball. 6 on the shot clock as they put it in.
There's great defensive recognition by the Knicks. Everybody's eyes is on the ball. Everybody's watching all the cuts.
Michael, 2 seconds to shoot over Houston. Got it.
That's nothing you can do about that. That was great defense by Allen Houston, but a spectacular, great play by Michael Jordan.
And now here's Michael with the steal, 3-on-1. Ward's the only guy back. Michael takes it all the way and misses the left-hander, but Harper cleans it up.
Well, there was a no call by the referee right there, which was the right call. They had a 3-on-1 fast break. The referee didn't want to send him to the line, knew that one of their players would follow up, and besides being, the player was inside the dotted area.
Tied at 16. Oakley. Left alone, misses it badly. Kukoc has it. From 15 in, Oakley can be effective. That was a bit outside his range. Jordan for 3. Hitting only about 20% of his 3-point tries this year, but feeling it tonight.
Yeah, I think he wants to do something special, as Ahmad indicated, with the shoes that he's wearing. He's accepting the challenge now of Allen Houston. He wants to set him down defensively, but he also wants to start attacking him offensively.
Mills from Houston. It's long, and Rodman has the rebound. Bulls with the ball on a 7-0 run to lead by 3. Taken away, and back comes Charlie Ward. And his pass eludes Houston.
That's all right. He's looking for the right guy, though. Charlie Ward, understanding of the game, has gotten better and better every year. He started out as a quarterback, but he's understanding how to play the point guard position in the NBA.
This could develop into a terrific shootout between Houston, who's riding a hot streak the last few weeks, and Jordan. Michael hits again.
Well, I like what we're seeing here, Bob, because both of these two guys have accepted the challenge. It must be the shoes. I told you, Bob, I wanted those shoes from the All-Star game.
Houston, coming in off the baseline, takes a nice pass from Ward, and he now has 11.
So you're watching Houston grow up. You're watching him mature as a player. He's accepted the responsibility of putting his team on his back and carrying them. Now they have to get Mills involved in the offense now.
Kukoc out of the corner. Misses it. Rebound across the bucket to Ward, who's fouled from behind by Harper. The basket by Houston a moment ago snapped the 9-0 Chicago run.
The pump fake by Jordan, and he brings him back to the right. He takes him left, then he brings him right. The draw and kick from Harper. They like to get into the lane. and then he stares him down and just shoots right over him. But there's nothing that Allen Houston can do because he's playing good defense. All the shots have been contested.
Michael has 9. Houston has 11. Ward driving baseline through a crowd. Finds Johnson, and Larry Johnson to the right hand, hitting off the glass.
See, the middle of the lane is open for both teams because you don't have a big center standing in the middle. There's no Longley, there's no Patrick Ewing, so everybody's allowed to move.
In and out for Michael on the turnaround, but Harper trying to keep it alive, and it rolls to Michael. A fresh 24 for Chicago. Rodman, the touch pass to Harper. Baseline jumper. Pippen scoops it up. Scotty with a leaner. Rebound Johnson.
He's got to get Mills involved right now. They got to run something for Mills.
Johnson from Oakley.
But Johnson will do. but right now you got Mills, and you got to try to get him some shots. You got to try to get him involved in the game because you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose Johnson in Houston. Now you got Charlie Ward penetrating, Johnson turning around in the lane, surrounded by 3 players, still puts it in. He seals Scottie Pippen, pushes him off, then he turns around into the lane and shoots it right over him.
Houston has 11, Johnson has 8, and the Knicks have the lead.
Now Van Gundy changed his offense around and he wants to feature Allen Houston. They've gone to more of a box set as opposed to a power set. They feature Allen Houston coming off a baseline screen, freeing him open on the side. They like to penetrate and kick to him. And then Houston is smart enough as an offensive player where he can set you up and back cut you and look for the lob also. You got to give Van Gundy a lot of credit for changing the offense around, and you also got to give Houston a lot of credit for stepping up and meeting the challenge and carrying this team thus far on his back.
Chicago ball after the timeout. Michael with the hop step and the jumper. In and out. And Oakley is there on the boards. Charlie Ward, 7 assists already. His career high is 10. Oakley to Johnson on the baseline. 8 on the 24. Draws a triple team. Kukoc might have kicked it. It goes out of bounds and will belong to the Knicks. They get a fresh 24 on the kick ball. Chris Mills out, and John Starks makes his first appearance off the New York bench.
I think Van Gundy recognized that Chris Mills was kind of struggling, and he wants to bring some more offensive punch into the game. That's why he brought Starks into the game.
Pippen touched it last. New York ball. A correction on Charlie Ward. His season high is 10 against Milwaukee. His career high 12 assists, but he already has 7 in this first quarter. Starks bounces it back to Ward. Floater with the left hand, and he gets the roll.
Bob, you're absolutely right on Charlie Ward. You know, you can see the little things that he's picking up. The back cut he just made, he wouldn't have made that play 2 seasons ago, but he's starting to understand how to play the game of professional basketball. You see the back cut in the extension of the left hand. 2 years ago, he didn't have that in his repertoire, but he's learning how to play the game. He's learning how to read the defense. Just as a quarterback would in football, he's learning how to do that now in basketball.
Well, they say it usually takes a quarterback 3 or 4 years to get acclimated to a league, and he's the former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from Florida State. Steve Kerr, first appearance in quite a while, back from the shoulder injury. Wastes no time unleashing a 3 and hitting it.
Wow, that's nice. You know, to have that type of confidence in your first game back, to step up to the line and drop a 3 as soon as you step off the bench, that's huge.
Same kind of confidence he showed in hitting the championship-winning shot in Game 6 at the United Center last June against Utah. Ward for 3, way long. Johnson can't follow, but Oakley can, coming in from the right side, plus a foul.
Now, Oakley usually has his way with Rodman underneath because Oakley is so big and strong. His legs are so powerful that he can push Rodman underneath. Usually, Rodman can battle those guys and push them away, but you see Oakley can come over him and push him underneath because he's so massive. Head-to-head, you see Oakley usually gives Rodman a very tough time because of the body strength. When you look at Rodman and Oakley, they can guard centers because they have the leverage. It's not about how tall you are, but it's about how much leverage you have underneath. We watched Oakley last week or a week ago guard Shaq in the middle and push him out. It's about how much leverage that you can get underneath, and Oakley and Rodman do a good job of that.
Foul on Rodman is first. Three-point play gives the Knicks the three-point lead. Scott Burrell in for the first time to Jordan and now Pippen. Scotty hits the turnaround.
Now with John Starks in the game, if he's guarding Pippen or Jordan, they'll take him right down to the low post because they feel they have a size advantage on him.
Johnson from Ward, another assist for Ward. And now he positions himself in front of Pippen, takes some contact. The actual call was traveling on Scotty. Either way, the ball goes to the Knicks.
Charlie Ward is right on the money, and he's playing every part of this game correct so far. I think the biggest growth in his development has come when Chris Childs is out of the game. When Chris Childs has been hurt, you have Houston and Starks. You see Ward understanding how to position himself and take the charge. But when
Ward for three. Rodman has the rebound.
When the Knicks play three guards, they're a much more effective team than when they play four guards.
Burrell spins out. Oakley has it. Pegs it ahead for Johnson on the run, trying to save it and can't. And into the spectators.
The pace of this game is incredible. You got a high-scoring game going on. The Knicks have 29 points in the first quarter. Traditionally, they're a low-scoring team, but you don't have the centers in the middle clogging down everything. The tallest player out on the floor is 6'7", 6'8", and there's a lot of movement, a lot of space, a lot of ball movement, pass movement. This is beautiful basketball that we're watching.
Jordan. And nothing more beautiful than watching him play.
He makes it look so easy, Bob.
He's in double figures now for the 819th consecutive game, extending his own record, 11 first-quarter points.
When you can make it look that easy, it comes from hours and hours of practice.
The Knicks by 1. Shot clock at 4. Houston putting a capper on a terrific first period. He has 13. Jordan will beat the buzzer for 3. At the end of a torrid first period, the Knicks lead at 31-28. Houston and Jordan settling into what could be a shootout. This is the NBA on NBC. We assume that the celebrities in attendance did not have to resort to the scalpers, as many of those here at the Garden did. As we mentioned earlier, one of the hottest tickets in recent New York sports history, Matthew Modine and Billy Baldwin. Frequently seen at the Garden. JFK Jr. is here. Elle McPherson. Woody Allen and Soon Yi frequently in attendance for a game against the Cavaliers or the Nuggets, so no surprise that they'd be here for the Bulls. And Wayne Gretzky, very possibly the greatest hockey player of all time, courtside to watch, likely the greatest basketball player of all time.
You know, when you talk about Gretzky and Jordan, what they've done for their sport is unbelievable. Without Jordan in basketball and without Gretzky in hockey, these sports wouldn't be where they are today. But forget about the sports and Gretzky and Jordan. Did you see those diamonds in Elle McPherson's ears?
You know, I missed that.
They were huge bricks like the one Starks just put up.
No dispute on the characterization of Starks' shot, and he has been really cold of late, really in a slump. Wennington in for the first time, and Wennington misses it. The follow for Pippen no good, but he slaps it back up. That won't drop, and Oakley finally has it. Kerr gets in front and knocks it out of bounds. New York ball.
We talked to Phil Jackson earlier, and he said that he was concerned about his bench when they came into the game because they haven't had much practice time. He thought that they would be a little ragged, and they are a little bit right now.
Charlie Ward into Starks, guarded by Kerr. Into the lane, but loses it. Pippen comes away with it. Mills and Houston chasing it. Scotty to the bucket with the up and under. That's no good, but Rodman, trailing the play, slams it home.
Never gave up on the play. Ran all the way down, followed it up, and slammed it in. And I think he likes doing that. You see the big smile on Rodman's face.
Pippen trying to guard Houston to the baseline. Misses badly, but Oakley is there, and a whistle blows as Oakley goes up with a follow shot. Wennington picks up the foul.
Now watch Rodman. He never gives up on the play. There's a steal made, and he streaks down court. And watch the miss and the follow-up. He beats 2 offensive players down court to get it. Never stops running, times it. That's perfect. That's why he gets so many rebounds. He goes after every single one of them.
The Knicks allow fewer offensive rebounds per game than any other team in the NBA. They do a good job on the defensive boards. And in fact, the last time these two teams played, the Bulls were held, this is remarkable, to only 3 offensive rebounds in the game. But the rebound and stuff for Rodman was their 9th on the offensive glass in this first half. Oakley hits 1 of 2. The Knicks lead by 2. Kerr with another 3. And it's good again. Whatever rust he may have been suffering with, he worked it off during practice.
That just goes to show you the amount of practice time that he's put in, because he can step out on the court and shoot with this type of confidence right now.
Starks through a crowd. Still can't buy one, and Kerr has a rare rebound. Nick Ball on the turnover. They trail it by 1, 33-32. Houston and Johnson carrying the bulk of the load for the Knicks. This is first quarter scoring. Pippen with 10 and Jordan with 11 for Chicago.
Now, what both those graphs say to me is that both teams are executing remarkably well. They're doing exactly what the coach wants them to. New York wants to feature Houston and Johnson.
Tough shot for Houston, and he can't hit it.
And Chicago wants to feature Pippen and Jordan. They'll run Pippen right into the low post now to see what they can get out of it.
Wennington wide open. Bill Wennington still has some fans here. Played for a great St. John's team that included Walter Berry and Chris Mullin. Went to the Final Four in the 1980s. Greg Willard with a foul call, and we'll sort it out when we come back. 9:32 to play in the half. The Bulls by 3. Well, if you couldn't get a ticket to be inside, I guess there's entertainment to be had outside. The last foul call prior to the timeout was an illegal screen on Allen Houston. Having a big game thus far, we asked him yesterday about the differences in his approach since the Patrick Ewing injury.
There were times when Patrick, even though I may have had a good game, I may have been feeling it well, and I may have gotten 20 shots. But there were times when Patrick was in, well, I didn't know when my next shot was coming. I didn't know whether it be in transition or on a set play. And now you can pretty much get a feel, you know, for when you're going to touch the ball and make something happen. It may not be a shot, but it may just be making a play, you know, on the offensive end.
Now, when you're the featured guy in the offense, you know exactly when your shots are going to come, when they're not going to come, and you don't worry about if you miss one or if you miss 2. You get in a good shooting rhythm, you get your touches, and everything starts to flow from there.
Bulls with the ball and a 3-point lead. Kukoc. Michael in traffic. Jordan with 13, tying Houston for game-high honors.
Michael just bogarted Starks down in the lane and just took the basket from him.
Chris Mills. Now, I'm still savoring your 70s reference. He bogarted him. I mean, that expression was used in the 70s. Bogart himself would be a 40s or 50s reference.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. Knocked away by Mills, recovered by Wennington. Kerr finally misses one. Starks crashing the boards. Terry Cummings, the veteran, can't hit. And Jordan one-hands the rebound. Pace slowing just a little bit. Chicago 37, New York 34. Starks on Michael, who dribbles it off his foot and loses it. Some rare razzing for MJ.
Even the great ones make mistakes. It's nice to know that he's still human.
Jordan playing Ward. Rodman on Johnson. Johnson into the lane. Back out to Starks. The jumper. Kerr got a piece of it, but also got a piece of Starks. You can follow the NBA online at msnbcsports.com. Find out where NBC's basketball analysts stand on the Sprewell ruling, and hear from Michael on whether he would one day consider playing in New York. Seems far-fetched, but all the NBA news, scores, and stats you want are at msnbcsports.com. Starks scoreless thus far. And it stays that way.
Now, when you're struggling mentally, you lose all your confidence. You usually play better at home, but when you go on the road, that's when it really hits you. Right now, Starks is having a battle within his mind if he can get his confidence back. He stayed after practice yesterday, put up 100 extra shots, but sometimes your mind plays tricks on you.
1 of 2 at the line in the midst of an extended shooting slump. Starks was pulled midway through the 4th quarter in Philadelphia on Friday night and had one of his shouting matches with Jeff Van Gundy, but those are almost commonplace, and they put it behind them pretty quickly. Chicago by a bucket. Kerr bounces to Rodman and then gets it back from him. Wennington turns and fires. Off the back rim, and it's pulled down by Starks. Here's Terry Cummings. Larry Johnson finding Starks. Starks is open for 3, but he's way off with it. Cummings clears the boards.
See, normally Starks would just catch that and shoot it. He's trying to find his rhythm. He had to grab it and take a bounce. He's doing anything he can to get his rhythm.
The Knicks asked for time with 7:13 to play in the half, and Chicago in front by 2. This is the NBA on NBC.
Now, when you look at Michael Jordan, it's the little things that makes the difference between success and failure. It's the simple pass, the understanding, the reading of the defense. He shoves Starks out of the way, using the little things. But I would advise a lot of you, don't try to do that unless you have gloves the size of Johnny Bench, that catcher's mitt. Loves playing and performing in Madison Square Garden. There's a love affair that he has here with the fans like no other athlete has had in basketball in my era.
Even in the All-Star game last month, 23 points and the MVP award. 44 in early January, his last game here. 29 of them in the second half. Pippen and Kukoc both missed that game, and MJ carried the load. Here's Cummings backing in against Wennington, shooting over him and hitting. His first 3 games after being acquired from Philadelphia, Cummings didn't score. Then he had an 18-point game, and he's averaged 10 a game since.
But Cummings has always been a big offensive threat. He can score inside and out.
Michael took it through a crowd, and a whistle blows. Jordan has a complaint about it. He thought he might have been fouled on his move, and instead they called the foul after that, after he dumped the pass off. Terry Cummings picks it up. First on Cummings. Michael. Cummings with good position on Rodman for the rebound. Johnson from Starks, hit by Wennington, and the foul is called. Folks, a reminder, tomorrow night, don't miss the premiere of NBC's newest must-see comedy, House Rules. 3 lifelong friends, 1 house, and no rules. Guaranteed that hilarity ensues. Catch the premiere of House Rules, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, after an all-new Suddenly Susan tomorrow night. Johnson gets a friendly bounce, and the Knicks have the lead.
Now, Larry Johnson is streaking down the court, and he's beating Wennington down the court. Wennington is matched up against him sometimes, and he's streaking down the court, beating him on transition.
Rodman with an easy rebound, averaging 14-9 in that category. It's his 7th of the first half. He leads the league by a little more than a rebound a game over the Nets' Jason Williams. Up top to Kukoc. Mills with a hand on it. He forces it to beat the shot clock, overshoots it, doesn't draw the rim, and so it's a 24-second violation.
That was good defense by New York, but Chicago has great patience. A lot of times you'll see them run that shot clock down all the way to 4 and 5 seconds and come out with a good shot. They have great offensive patience, but that time it was just great defense by the New York Knicks.
Brooks Thompson in the game for the first time, wearing number 7 for the Knicks. Kerr is on him. Starks, swings it to Mills, and Chris Mills misses the 3 out of the corner. The 8th rebound for Rodman. His average of 14-9, even though it leads the league, is his lowest since 1991. He goes to the hoop and scores.
Nice play. See the patience of that. You know, when Jordan came off the pick and roll, Rodman hesitated, gave him enough time so Jordan can hit him with the bounce pass. It's the patience that they have in their offense which makes them so spectacular in their execution.
4 points for Rodman. That's just about his average. A whistle before Cummings makes his move.
Watch the hesitation. Jordan to come off, and watch Rodman hesitate. He hesitates, frees himself up, but it's the delay that he has. Watch the delay. He doesn't go too fast. They always say it's better to be too late than to be too early. Pippen responds. That's the way we practice it every single day.
Pippen was at the scorer's table waiting to check in. Before he could, Wennington picked up his 3rd foul. Now Bill goes to the bench as Pippen returns. Johnson through the lane, misses around Rodman. 9 boards now for Dennis. He hasn't had a 20 rebound game in 5 weeks. Could be on his way to one tonight. Kerr around Thompson. Looking for Michael, and Chicago loses it.
You know, when we were out to dinner last night, Bob, Michael told me that he may possibly wear his shoes tonight. He said, the thing that I'm worried about, though, is if they hurt my feet, because I haven't worn these kind of shoes in so long. And I think he slipped there, and he's having a little tough time adjusting to the old school shoes.
Cummings turns to face the basket against Kukoc. Almost lost it, recovers, fires, and misses. Rodman again, 10 rebounds for him. Starting at center for the injured Luke Longley in this game. Longley didn't make the trip from Chicago. MJ with the turnaround. Missing over Starks. Rodman again. Kukoc gets it back from Rodman and misses the open jumper. Allen Houston pushes it into the front court for Starks. And it bounces to Kerr. John Starks still coming up dry from the field. And a timeout asked for by Chicago with 3:48 to play in the half. After a torrid first period, both teams having trouble scoring in the second. Chicago by 1.
We've been talking about Michael's shoes, the ones they are wearing. Now, these are the original shoes. These aren't makeups. These are the ones that he wore about 10 years ago, and at that time he wore about a size 12 and a half. Isaiah was telling me the thing he was worried about is if the shoes turn out to be too small, because now Michael wears size 13 and a half. It's a nice gesture, but just in case it didn't work, he has these right here, sitting on the side. See, those are the ones he's wearing. These are the ones that are in reserve just in case those toes start barking. Bob?
All right, Ahmad. 6 of 13 from the field for Jordan so far. 13 points. He has 4 assists and a couple of turnovers.
But the thing about those old shoes, Bob, is they don't have the type of padding and cushion that the new shoes have. So those shoes were kind of hard, but, you know, the new shoes that everybody's walking around in now, those are called really air. You know, you're walking around on air. These are kind of flat and don't have the arch support that the new shoes have.
Judd Bushler is in the Chicago lineup. Steve Kerr goes out. Ron Harper back in. Harper with the ball up top to Pippen. Houston on Jordan. Michael into the lane to the left hand. He's got 15 now.
Broke him down with the quick step, went left. Nothing there.
Houston from Oakley. The Bulls by 3. Johnson inside. That was just the 3rd field goal of the 2nd period for the Knicks. They're 3 of 13 in this period after making 14 of 20 in the 1st quarter. Jordan over Houston. Rebound battle. Chase to the side. Who's got it? It's Nick Ball.
Now you see this game, it will go in spurts. You have high-scoring minutes, and then you have lows. And the reason why is because you don't have the centers that you can pound it into the middle to slow the game down, to make sure that you can walk to the free throw line.
Inside 3 minutes to play until halftime. Getting free inside is Chris Mills.
Good recognition by Charles Oakley. He has the mind of a point guard when he's out there passing the ball. He recognized that the defender had slipped and took advantage of it.
And off the Oakley assist, Mills gives the Knicks the lead at 42-41. Jordan into the lane, but it's short. Out of bounds to the Knicks.
Now the Knicks will try to come back and reestablish Houston again. They'll probably put him down on the baseline, run some more screens for him, to send him in at the half, still feeling warm and still feeling hot.
Mills thinking about it against Bushler. Turns and misses. Rodman again, his 12th rebound. Pippen to the front court. Ward knocks it out of bounds. Michael Jordan has launched 16 shots already, intent on having a big game tonight. He averages 23 attempts per game.
You know, people talk about how many shots that he takes, but I can tell you from playing, it's very difficult to put up 16, 23, and 25 shots every night. That takes an awful lot of work and an awful lot of energy.
Rodman with 8 on the 24. Michael, his 17th shot is batted away by Mills. And the shot clock will be reset at 1 second. The Bulls have 1 second to shoot as the ball went out of bounds, touched last by the Knicks. Pippen lobs it up near the hoop. And then Bushler picks it up, but the shot clock sounds before he gets that reverse attempt up in the air. Jackson disputing the call. You be the judge.
Well, the ball hits the rim, but it hits from out of bounds. Now, technically, the 24-second clock is not supposed to start until somebody touches the ball, not necessarily when it hits the rim. Phil Jackson argues that point, but with Joey Crawford out there, you're not going to win too many battles against him.
So the basket is negated. The Knicks maintain the 42-41 lead. Houston slicing through. Rodman comes away with it. Bushler. Oakley clears the boards for New York. Oakley and Harper with some contact, no call. Houston with a long one, and Allen Houston swishes it home.
They want to get him back into the game and have him go into the half warm.
Rodman misses the rare jumper. He'll take one now and then, sometimes for his own reasons, sometimes within the flow of the offense.
But Bob, that was a smart shot by Rodman because it gave Chicago to have a 2-for-1 opportunity now. Now they'll get the ball coming back with 8 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Johnson from Oakley, off-balance shot is short. Here comes Michael. Spinning in the lane for the slam.
Nice. Nice. Shook him, spent him, then dunked him.
Oakley gets back, though. And Oakley, with just under 5 seconds to play, steals a basket for New York. Pippen trying to get a shot off, but he won't. After a 59-point first quarter, the Bulls and Knicks combined for only 30 in the second. After a half, the Knicks lead it 46-43. Jordan with 17 points. Rodman with 13 rebounds. Houston has 15 for New York. The last basket for Michael in this half is one to remember.
But look at the paces that Jordan has on this move. He shakes him to the right, spins him, and then looks and dunks it in the hole.
Ahmad Rashad back at Madison Square Garden where the Bulls trail the Knicks by 3 points. Phil Jackson told his team at halftime he was happy with their defense, wants to get their spacing better on offense, and he wants to try, in terms of matchups, he wants to get Dennis Rodman on Larry Johnson as much as possible. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. Here we go. The second half beginning with the Knicks in front by 3, and they have the ball. Charlie Ward lost it out of bounds. Harper hounding him into the turnover.
Well, this was a good time for Chicago to come out and apply a lot of pressure up front.
Ward
normally when you go in at the half, you get kind of stiff, and it's a good time to come out and apply some pressure right at the start so you can get a quick turnover as Chicago did.
Kukoc with Johnson on him. Up top to Pippen. The jumper over Mills is way off, and Oakley has the rebound. Charlie Ward, who had 10 first-half assists, brings it to the front court. Mills gives it up to Houston. Michael is on him. Houston into the lane. Now finds Mills open, but he can't convert. Larry Johnson to follow.
That was set up by Allen Houston. His penetration gets into the lane, draws the defense, pulls everybody out of position, which allows Larry Johnson to be wide open underneath for an offensive putback.
Which gives him 15. Harper in the lane. And there's Chicago's first basket of the second half.
Now Harper would try to use his size advantage underneath to post up Charlie Ward to get him out of the game mentally. Ward has had a great floor game thus far.
Houston over Jordan.
Now that's what you like about Allen Houston. He can put it on the floor. When Jordan gets up on him to contest his shot, he can put it on the floor and drive it to the basket, and he also has exceptional leaping ability where he can go up and jump and finish.
They're both 6'6", so he gives away no height to Michael, and they each now have 17 points. Jordan tries to answer, and can't. Kukoc misses from short range, and Oakley is there. Houston for 3. Overshot it. Pippen back the other way. Gets it back from Michael. And hits the 3 out of the corner.
You know, every time you watch Chicago play, and when Jordan has big games, Pippen is the one that really kills you.
Houston driving on Jordan into a crowd. Counted plus the foul.
Again, you see Jordan crowd Houston. You see him crowd Houston, and Houston has the ability to put it on the floor. Loves to go right, but also can go left. And you turn around and you see it again. He's up on him, going right, cuts him off with his body, takes the bump, leans and finishes.
But can't hit the free throw, so the Knicks maintain a 4-point lead at 52-48. Harper from Kukoc, 7 on the 24. Harper to the baseline, tries the bank and doesn't have it. Rodman clears the boards. His 14th rebound. Jordan nearly robbed, and the shot's going to fall.
Oh, my.
Oh, man.
That was nice.
Nice is an understatement.
Took the bump, took the hit, reversed it, spent it around. But what made the play successful was his ability to go left. Houston forced him left. And he extends and takes the hit. Knew he was going to get a hard hit from Oakley. Turns around and spins it right in. You see Houston forces him left. He takes the short baby step, takes the hit, and spins it off.
Oakley with the foul. Michael with his first free throw of the game, and that spins out.
Again, the pace of this game, Chicago has only shot 3 free throws, but they put up close to 50 shots. With no center in the middle, you don't have a lot of free throws, and you have a lot of shots going up from the perimeter.
Chris Mills got it off the glass, and he's coming to the foul line.
You got Oakley and Pippen underneath going at it. Those two were teammates. Oakley gave Pippen a shot. Wants to try to knock him off his game right now. They know if they be physical with Chicago, get him in a type of pushing and shoving match, that gets Chicago out of the game. Now watch Oakley. Pippen's trying to block him out, takes him underneath. Oakley locks him and then gives him a shot in the chest. Pippen said, come on, Oak, please.
The personal foul was on Rodman, his second. A double technical has been called on Oakley and Pippen. No shots for that. And Mills will now shoot the personal foul, trying to complete the three-point play as we check in with Ahmad.
You know, Bob, it just goes to show you how hotly contested this ball game is. Scottie Pippen and Charles Oakley are two of the best friends off the court, and they get into something like this. It just shows you that these guys, once you get on the court, hey, it's all about competing. Bob?
Oakley's first 3 years in the league were with the Bulls. Good years for him. This is his 10th season as a Knick. Bulls down by 5. Harper in the lane. Can't cut it to 3, but Jordan can.
Nice follow-up. Great extension. Timed it perfectly. Used his body, used Oakley's body to gain leverage so he can tap it in.
21 for Michael, leading the league at 28-2. Oakley can't finish it. Rodman another rebound. Flings it ahead to Pippen. Harper from Kukoc cans it off the baseline. And the Bulls are within 1 at 55-54, a half dozen for Harper.
When you look at Oakley and you watch that last drive he just had, Oakley's a 2-foot jumper. He's not a 1-foot jumper. And whenever he has to extend off 1 feet, it's hard for him to gain leverage and to get his balance. He's a 2-foot jumper.
Jordan takes it away from Johnson. The Bulls with a chance to recapture the lead. Kukoc from Michael. Another try, but it's knocked away. And Oakley comes out of the pack with it. Johnson with a 3 that is short. And Michael has the rebound. Stutter step, pull up. It's long. Up and over the glass. And the Knicks will have it. Michael has already equaled his per-game average in terms of field goal attempts. He's tried 23.
Now watch Michael as he moves without the basketball, and he uses Oakley's body to gain leverage. So when I watch him moving about the basketball, now watch him come in and put his left arm on Oakley to gain leverage so he can have the easy tap in.
Michael with 21 points on 23 shots in 26 minutes.
Now, New York will use different defenders. You see Starks guarding Jordan here. He takes him low and he uses his strength. Jordan will use different methods of scoring on different people. And you see him driving around Houston going left, and against Charlie Ward, he gives him the fake and the reverse and the dunk because he's too little to mess with Michael Jordan. You see his success against Stark. You see his success against Ward. And I don't know who those others are, but I venture to say they can't guard him either.
They should use others more. He missed all 3 against others. Others doing an excellent job. In recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Michael overall 10 of 23 from the floor.
That's the thing that scares you about Michael Jordan. With 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, he has 23 shots already. And the thing that most people fear when you're playing against him, you don't want to see this guy put up 35 shots.
Ward, terrific move through the lane. 7 for him to go with 10 assists. The Knicks by 3. Jordan will fire again, and he'll hit to give him 23 points.
See, he takes Houston inside and he takes him out. He always keeps you off balance as a scorer.
Oakley with a 20-footer.
Chicago gambled that time. They tried to make Charlie Ward read the defense. He found the right man. Charles Oakley can knock down that shot all day long.
Kukoc with a 3. Ties the game at 59.
It was a nice shot by Kukoc, but the pass was perfect in his shooting rhythm. The pass that Pippen gave it to him, put it right in his shot pocket so Tony didn't have to make any adjustments.
Just 5 points for Kukoc after the 3. Oakley again. Kukoc wins the rebound battle. Jordan guarded by Houston. Slithers through the lane and hits with the left hand.
See, he gives you something different to look at every time. The last time down, he gave it to him up and under. The first time down, then he gave him a turnaround shot. He gives you a different look every time.
Houston trying to answer, but he misses, and Rodman is there for his 16th rebound. Jordan from Harper, and he'll be coming to the foul line.
See, what makes Michael very difficult to guard is he gives you something different every time. He gives you the in-the-middle fadeaway. Now, Houston will come down this time, and he's thinking in his mind, okay, I know the fadeaway that's coming, so he goes for the up fake, and he slips right through him. That's what makes him such a great offensive scorer, is because he's always thinking. He always keeps you off balance, and he knows how to take you to different spots on the court to make you think about what you're supposed to do, what you can and can't do to guard him.
This gives you a sense of some of what he's accomplished in this building. We talked to him about what's so special about playing at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I've always liked Madison Square Garden, even when I was in college, when we played St. John's or some of the games that we played. You know, it's always been an area or a place where basketball enthusiasts could notice a fake basketball player. If you're a real basketball player, they honor that. They show the respect for that. If you just a hype, you can't fool them, and they'll see it. You know, and it's like stepping on a stage with an act, and people can see that it's an act, or they can see that if it's talent. You know, so that's the way I've always perceived Madison Square Garden.
And on this Sunday night at Madison Square Garden, 25 points and playing an overall game. A triple-double not out of the question. Flashbulbs popping as he hits the first free throw. At this Madison Square Garden, which goes back 30 years, he's the top scorer. With Chamberlain once had a 73-point game in the old Garden. There were several old Gardens. The Garden that preceded this one. Jordan hits them both. The Bulls lead 63-59. Chris Mills back to Oakley. Baseline jumper isn't there. Rodman battling for the rebound. Contact with Charlie Ward. Ward picks up the foul.
I tell you, that was an excellent defensive series that you just seen Chicago put on. The clinic that they just put on defensively, helping recover, block out. They did everything to perfection.
Foul on Ward was his second. Jordan, who has 27 points. Just beneath his average of 28-2. Kukoc with another three. Same spot.
See, what Chicago understands.
Charlie Ward is bleeding from the mouth. There was some contact and the official stopped play. You can't be in the game if you have an open wound of any kind. And so Ward leaves and is replaced by Brooks Thompson, which gives you an idea of what John Starks is going through. That Thompson would come in at this juncture of a game like this. Starks just can't get on track lately. Here's Houston. Double teamed as Pippen came over to help Jordan out. The ball knocked out of bounds. There was lots of contact. No foul is called.
I tell you, when Pippen and Jordan surround you, you can't see anything. All you see is arms, and the only thing that you can try to do is get it out of there as quickly as possible.
They've got to shoot quickly, and Houston is fouled as he makes his move, which is a gift for New York. He would have had to have forced one, but instead the foul comes first.
But Bob, that's what you love about Allen Houston. See, he can put it on the floor and go right, and he can also put it on the floor and go left. He gives you the change of pace. He can step back and shoot it. He has the complete and total package.
Now with a fresh 24, here's Johnson inside, and Kukoc fouled him. Johnson will come to the line trying to halt a 10-0 Chicago run. The Knicks are down by 7. Next Sunday, the NBA on NBC returns at noon Eastern with regional action. Most of you will see Tim Hardaway and the Atlantic Division leading Miami Heat traveling to Orlando to take on Nick Anderson, who's red hot for the Magic. Others will see Karl Malone and the Jazz battling Grant Hill and the Pistons. Check your local listings for the game in your area. And Tuesday night on NBC, the Bulls are at home. That would be on TNT. We will not be showing you the game on Tuesday night, but TNT will. The Heat and the Bulls.
When you talk about that Orlando and Miami game, and they flash the pictures of Nick Anderson and Hardaway, those guys have been battling since high school against each other, and it's funny that they find themselves in the pros still going at each other.
Johnson missed the first one, hits the second. Starks, as you saw a moment ago, checked back in. Unusual kind of makeshift lineup in there right now for the Knicks. Jordan gets the bounce as he just takes it right into a pack of people with complete confidence that he'll figure something out along the way.
Well, he shook Starks left, and then he crossed Oakley over and shook him right and made him disappear.
Starks out of the corner. Is this the one? Yeah. Finally.
Now, for a three-point shooter, that's the type of shot that will get you going because it's a shot from the corner. You're much better shooter from the corner at the three-point range because it's a little closer than the shot from the top of the circle.
That three was his first field goal of the game. He had a free throw earlier for 4 points. Kerr in trouble in the corner. 4 seconds to shoot. Kukoc from Pippen. The three is short, but he gets his own rebound. Michael wants it. Starks is on him. They can't get it to him. Now he has it in the lane. Little fadeaway off the back iron. Hopefully saves it into Starks. Knicks down by 5. Starks Starks accelerating baseline, colliding with Kukoc, who fouled him.
Now you watch Michael as he fakes the screen. Starks sees the screen coming, and then he gives Oakley the fake, loses him, and he's ghosted in the middle. Now Starks, sensing that embarrassment, finds himself open, wide open. He says, okay, let me look it all the way through. Let me stare it in the hole. And everybody is happy for John Starks right now.
And you're watching the NBA on NBC. Back at the Garden, the Bulls are up by 5. Let's take a look at how their record through 60 games compares to their record at the same point in the season in their 5 championship years. Only the 1993 team, which wound up beating the Suns in the finals at 41-19, had fewer victories through 60 games than this year's squad. What are your thoughts on their chances of adding a 6th banner?
I think Chicago is very vulnerable this year because they failed to bring in the type of front court strength that they needed at the trade deadline. They lost one of their most valuable players coming off the bench in Caffey. Now they use Kukoc there at the power forward position. Last year they were able to add Brian Williams to take them down through the stretch run, through the playoffs. But when you're going into playoffs and you're playing against a tough Miami physical team, a tough Indiana physical team, possibly a tough Washington physical team, I don't know if Chicago can make it all the way through to get to the next step, to get to the next level, because their bench now is very weak. Jordan and Pippen will have to carry a serious load throughout the course of the playoffs in the regular season.
Well, apparently that 3 out of the corner a moment ago didn't get John Starks on track. Now Pippen uncorks a 3 and hits it after Starks misses a brace of free throws. And the Bulls have their biggest lead at 71-63.
Now New York is starting to feel the pressure now. They're starting to press on every shot.
Ward gets it back.
That's a big shot by Charlie Ward for confidence reasons. Chicago wanted to put on the run. That shot broke the momentum.
Pippen leans in and takes a losing 3. Contact under the board.
Ward, they're playing a little pick and roll. Ward comes off. Jordan gives him a little room, and he's very confident in that shot now. He understands the space, and he's looking at the ref saying, hey, chipped me on the wrist. Anytime you see teams come down and they launch 3-point bombs the way Chicago has just come out and tried to launch 2, that means they're going for the kill. They're trying to establish the momentum right now. Foul
underneath was on Oakley. Chicago ball. Pippen with another 3. This one's way off. Oakley has it, claiming that he was fouled, arguing his case with Greg Willard. Houston has it. Working on Burrell, running one-handed. Good, plus the foul.
Now he absorbed the contact. And watch Houston as he takes it off the dribble. What makes him successful is that he can go off the dribble, but he absorbs the contact, which actually knocks him on balance, puts him right into his shooting rhythm. Now watch him absorb the contact, and it knocks him right on balance, puts him right into his shooting rhythm.
Hard to believe that earlier this year, whenever Houston touched the ball, some fans here at the Garden were chanting, "We want Mitch, we want Mitch," in reference to a possible trade for Sacramento's Mitch Richmond. Richmond is, of course, a great player, but Houston is playing the best ball, perhaps, of his career the last month or so.
You're absolutely right, Bob. And the reason why he's playing the best ball is because this is the most minutes that he's ever gotten as a New York Knick.
Jordan almost lost it. Saves it for Rodman. 10 on the 24. Pippen to the dribble. Now Kerr into the lane. And Kerr with a tough shot, and he doesn't get the roll on it. Out of bounds to Chicago.
Now back to Houston. When they play 4 guards, Houston only gets 32 to 33 minutes out on the court. With Ewing and Childs being out, he's playing 38, 39 minutes a night. He's a rhythm player, and when he plays those type of minutes,
Pippen again.
When he plays those type of minutes, he's able to get up the amount of shots that he needs to get up.
Starks throws one up on the run that is maybe within the same area code, but no closer to the hoop than that.
Now that's why you love Chicago. They have absolutely nothing to play for, nothing to prove anymore, but you see two guys diving on the floor, giving everything they can to Phil Jackson. That's why you love watching them play, and that's why they're such a special team, because there's never a moment in the game where they cheat you.
Last minute of the third. Ward. Nice pass to Mills, and Chris Mills hits with the left hand.
Now, a year ago, Charlie Ward would have jumped in the air and tried to throw a no-look pass. That time he waited, and he was patient enough to let the traffic clear and give Mills an easy layup.
Chris Mills picks up the foul on Scotty Burrell's drive. And we remind you that next Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, it's NBA First Person, a behind-the-scenes look at Rookie of the Year candidate Tim Duncan, Indiana's Reggie Miller, and Lakers coach Del Harris. NBA First Person next Sunday on NBC. Burrell hits the first. Kukoc comes back in, and Pippen will get a breather at the end of this third quarter. Burrell, the former Toronto Blue Jay farmhand, fine pitcher who decided to give up his baseball aspirations and concentrate on basketball, makes 1 out of 2. Burrell kind of Mr. Garbage time. In 2 games against Denver this year, he's averaged 18 points. He threw in 20 against Toronto. When they want to give the regulars a breather, he can come in and fill it up. Here's Starks. Missing short, and Rodman styling a bit on the rebound. 18 boards for Dennis, who hasn't had a 20-rebound game since late January, but is closing in on one here. Shot clock and game clock virtually identical. Bulls will hold for the last one. Rodman will take it and miss it short, and that'll do it in the third. The Bulls lead at 74-71 with 12 minutes to play. Jordan with 12 in this quarter, 29 for the game. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station. You're watching, in case there was any doubt, the NBA on NBC. Two years ago today, Jeff Van Gundy got the job, then as interim head coach, succeeding Don Nelson. March 8th, 1996. 2 days later, March 10th, the Bulls came to the Garden with a record of 54-6 on their way to 72-10. Yet Van Gundy got his first win as the Knicks coach and did it resoundingly. The game seen on national television here on NBC, 104-72. One of the most shocking NBA results in recent years, considering how well that Bulls team was playing at that time. Already, he's put his name among some prominent ones in Knicks coaching history.
He's done an excellent job in sustaining and maintaining the championship runs that they had, and also keeping their mentality in check, keeping them focused on their dreams of winning an NBA championship.
Jordan with 3 on the 24 will take it from the baseline, and now he has 31.
That was over 3 guys coming at him, running to stop him. Jumped up and said, "Too late."
Chicago by 5. Jordan peering intently at Ward as he covers him. Houston short from the baseline. And Kerr comes in to scoop up the rebound.
See, that was a bad screen by Chris Mills underneath. He let Harper slip the screen, which allowed him to put pressure on the shot. When you're trying to execute, you got to set the screen and put your body on him, as Rodman just did on Charlie Ward.
Jordan, a high archer over Mills that's no good, and Houston clears the glass. Houston. Jordan swoops in for the rebound. When he feels it, speaking of Jordan, he obviously has license to do pretty much what he wants. That is not a shot, the last one he took, that you'll see him take all that often these days. Fade away. 33.
That was nice. He took the bump. Starks gave him a little knee in the butt, and he was able to still gather his balance and jump up and shoot it. He's giving it to him in all ways.
He's now hit 50%, 15 of 30. Mills in the lane from Ward, around Rodman. And he traveled with it. Timeout with 9:58 to play in the fourth. The last two baskets for Michael.
Again, he keeps you off balance. He takes you right. He fades you. And now the same side of the court, instead of going to the other, he goes the opposite way and fades him. Never gives you the same thing twice.
With 9:58 to play, Michael and the Bulls lead by 7. Jordan with 33 points in what could be his last game at Madison Square Garden. He had 33 in his very first game as a pro in this building. November of 1984. It was just his 6th game in the NBA. And the rookie didn't disappoint the Garden crowd. The Bulls won by 15, and Michael had 33. The first of many outstanding performances in what he calls the Mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. A point a minute and almost a shot a minute. He's hoisted up 30 and made half of them. And he's still wearing the old Air Jordans. If they're giving him any trouble, he's figuring, well, I'm filling it up. I'll stick with them.
For some people, it really is the shoes. But as they say in my old neighborhood, it ain't for everybody.
Here's Burrell, guarded by Mills.
Starks is really battling Jordan down underneath.
Rodman misses the turnaround, and Cummings, who has just checked back in, takes in the rebound.
Nice.
Johnson filling the lane, and Ward finding it.
That's beautiful by Charlie Ward. The patience, the understanding. It wasn't quick. He didn't run it up the court. Took his time, let Larry Johnson fill wide open layup.
13 assists now for Ward. Knicks back to within 5. Jordan the fadeaway. And a whistle. Joey Crawford blows play dead, and Spike Lee is all over Michael Jordan as he passes in front of him, and Michael has a few words by way of retort.
Well, he just told him that he couldn't guard him. Starks is a little too small, he's a little too short, and he's telling Spike he's too little, he can't guard me.
Look who's sitting next to Spike, Earl of Pearl Monroe.
Right, see, he says, he can't guard me. He's too little. Then he says, hey, you come out here. You come out. Spike said, I will, money. But that's the specialness that he has with the Garden crowd. You know, no other player could come in here and get the type of respect that Jordan has. You know, you got Earl Monroe sitting there. He brings out all the great ones to watch him perform and play because he really is that type of a special athlete and a special talent.
1 of 2 at the line, 34 for Michael. Cummings into the lane against Pippen. Tough shot, spins out. Rodman another rebound. 19 boards for him. Oakley, by the way, has 14 rebounds for the Knicks.
Now, Jordan distracted Cummings on that shot, but Pippen gave him space to take him off balance. Big guys like to feel your body.
Jordan short. Cummings off to Starks. Ward is open for 3 and drills it.
Charlie Ward's having a spectacular night. I mean, I can't say it enough. He's really reading every single play right, even on the fast break, in transition, defensively and offensively. I think this young man has really found an understanding for the game that point guards need.
13 points and 13 assists for him. Kerr with the shot clock winding down. 4 seconds to shoot. The lob for Michael. In trouble. Gets it to Burrell. And let's see if he gets bailed out with a foul call, because there was no way they were going to beat the shot clock.
But there was a nice pass by Michael Jordan. He understood this personnel. There's a double team. He gets double team. Now watch the double team. Cummings will come from the baseline side, and watch the pass. Around him. He understands where his people are going to be.
Larry Johnson picks up his second foul, sparing the Bulls a 24-second violation. Jordan out for what figures to be a very short rest. And Burrell is long with the free throw.
See, that's why the triangle offense for Jordan is so effective. He always knows where his personnel is at.
Harper, Kerr, Rodman, Pippen, and Burrell on the floor right now for Phil Jackson. Burrell misses them both. And the Knicks are still within 3.
How long will Van Gundy keep Houston out of the game? I think it may be time for him to come back in the next minute or two.
Pippen moves in for the steal and a great save to Rodman. Now Scotty back with the 3. Oh, man.
That's one of them shots as a player that you shoot and you say game. Even though it's 7 minutes to go in the game, you shoot that shot, and that's a dagger right in the heart.
21 for Pippen, and what a sequence. The steal, the save, he brings the dribble across, pulls up, hits the 3. And now a foul at the other end. Let's review what Pippen did a moment ago.
You know, if New York loses this game, you can pinpoint it to this. That's where they'll all go and watch film. Pippen's on the steal. He comes back, saves it inbound, and then he knows that this is a momentum shot, big time shot, squares it up, looks it all the way through the hole, and he turns around as if to say, yeah, that's game. It's over. Now it's a matter of playing from here on out.
Not that Pippen and Rodman and Paxson and Kerr and so many others haven't been a part of it, but Jordan and Jackson has been a very successful partnership. Here's a look at Michael's head coaches through the years. Of course, Lockery and Allbeck were early in Michael's career, and then Doug Collins got them over the 500 mark, substantially over it, and those were Jordan's biggest scoring years. But all 5 titles have come with Jackson, and he says no Jackson in Chicago, no Jordan in Chicago, and therefore no Jordan in the NBA, Michael says, because right now his position is he plays with the Bulls or no one. What do you think?
I think if Jackson leaves Chicago, it'll be a travesty in basketball because those two have had so much success, and I can't fathom why the Bulls wouldn't want to keep both those guys together and continue to take a run at it and to make it work.
Here's Cummings. Fouled as Harper and Pippen had him sandwiched. Ahmad has more on what we were talking about. Take it.
Yeah, see, Bob, now, I'm just going to give you a definitive answer on this whole thing. Phil Jackson takes a sabbatical, doesn't coach next year. Michael Jordan, because he really wants to play, continues to play, and also becomes the player coach. Now, I got this information. Now, you know how close Michael and I are. You know, I got this information from another friend who I really respect, and he said that this is, in fact, what's going to happen. Now, this other friend of mine is a guy named Alvin who works down at the store near my house. He doesn't know any of the people involved, but that's what he feels is going to happen, and I think that that's probably a possibility.
What kind of store does Alvin run?
It's a little, a little store where you buy coffee and stuff. A convenience store.
Ah, I see. Well, those guys are usually well connected.
Yeah, he is. He's involved.
You know, a lot of traffic in and out of the store. You can pick up tips that way.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got it. The foul was on Harper, his 3rd. Cummings makes 1 of 2. The Knicks trail by 5 as we move inside 7 minutes. Jordan back in. Harper from Rodman. Swatted away cleanly. But then a whistle. It might have been a delayed call from Joey Crawford.
So the back cut in, and Cummings goes up.
Oh, man.
And I think that was clean.
That's all ball.
I think he got all ball.
That is all ball.
See, Cummings extends with the left hand. He doesn't go right-handed to come over his body. He extends with the left hand, and he blocks the shot. That was all ball.
Instead, Terry Cummings, in his 16th NBA season, picks up his 2nd foul. He's been with Milwaukee, San Antonio, San Diego. That's when the Clippers were in San Diego. Seattle, Philadelphia, now New York. How long has he been around? He was a teammate of Bill Walton's on the Clippers.
Well, I grew up with Terry Cummings, and we used to tease him in the neighborhood because he was the first guy who ever started lifting weights, and we used to call him Musclehead. But when he got to college, he was pounding and dominating us, and his conditioning and his weightlifting is the reason why he's been able to battle that heart condition that he has.
Starks from Johnson, misses it. Jordan battling with Cummings for the rebound. Michael with a chance, as we noted earlier, for a triple-double, closing in on it. Bulls lead by 6. Rodman flipping it behind his head to Pippen, who's fouled by Cummings.
Pippen is so good. I mean, this guy, you know, he's learned so much from Michael Jordan. You can tell that by them playing and competing and practicing against each other. He has so much confidence. He has so much skill. Mentally, he's just as sharp as Jordan. And when Jordan takes a rest, he's always there to capitalize.
Foul on Cummings was his third. Jordan into the lane with the fadeaway. Count it and bring him to the line.
See, look at the pass. I mean, it's perfect between them. It's the pass that leads him right to the score. You know, Pippen gives him a pass. Jordan doesn't know what's behind him, but Pippen gives it to him right, and he knows the split's coming. It's the pass that sets up the shot. These two work so well together. You know, Jordan can see it without even realizing it, that it's the pass that Pippen gives him. You know, the pass takes you right to the shot.
37 now for Jordan. Cummings picks up his 4th foul. A 9-point Chicago lead, their biggest of the night, with 6:02 to play in the 4th. This is the NBA on NBC. Ordinarily, you'd think a more inspired literary effort than this one would be required to get some airtime, but apparently not. They made it.
You got Michael in the 4th quarter. So he gives you a little bit of everything. He gives you a little right. Now he's going to go left for you. And just when you think you got him, he splits you under double team. Great offensive score because he has a great offensive mind.
And he's the game's leading scorer with 37 points. If you're just joining us, the Bulls are playing for the 3rd straight game without Luke Longley. Dennis Rodman has played all but 1 minute of the game, and he's played them all at center. He has 19 rebounds. There isn't a true center in this game. Ewing and Dudley hurt for the Knicks. Phil Wennington, I guess, has played a little bit of the game. A true center for the Bulls, but beyond that, we've got guys playing out of position. Johnson with a nice move, banking it home, and bringing the Knicks back to within 7 at 86-79. And Johnson now has 20.
I think, Bob, that Van Gundy made a huge gamble when he kept Houston and Oakley out of the game for so long.
Pippen is free underneath, and Kerr spots him.
See, without Oakley in there underneath, it gives the Chicago Bulls the type of confidence that they can go in there and know that they're not going to get hit.
Starks around Kerr with the pull-up, and he's got it. Tough shot, had to arc it high.
It's funny when you're struggling, you'll make the tough shots, but you'll miss the easy, wide open ones.
That's just his 2nd field goal. He has 6 points. Michael. Oh, my goodness!
See, that's the strength of Michael Jordan. You know, early in his career, he wouldn't have had the type of strength to power and muscle that shot up.
A number of the players and even 2 of the officials are laughing.
Watch the strength here. He takes the bump, Cummings grabs him, and he still is able to fight through and power through.
You know what? Strength is one thing, but lots of guys are strong, and lots of guys have skill, and only one guy has this level of artistry. Man.
You think I'm going to disagree with you?
Pippen almost took it away from Johnson. Now he's on the other end, cutting in front of Oakley and nearly stealing that. Almost wound up in the lap of Giants coach Jim Fossil, who's watching from a baseline seat. There he is. He's used to that kind of contact. Starks loose off the inbound pass for the easy bucket. Michael Jordan now, in 40 minutes of playing time, has 40 points.
So you have Jordan, who has played 40 minutes. Rodman has played every minute except for 1. You know, if you're the New York Knicks, you got to keep your best players out on the court. You got to keep Houston and Oakley out on the floor all the time.
Harper missed the finger roll, but the tip is there. Rodman, I believe, got it, giving the Bulls a 10-point lead. Through Johnson's hands and out of bounds. Chicago ball. And it's getting out of hand for New York now.
See, they're taking the ball out of Charlie Ward's hands, and they're making other people have to make decisions for the New York Knicks.
Rodman now has 6 points and an even 20 rebounds. Harper. And Starks wins the loose ball battle. The Knicks with time for one last push.
Well, they have to stay tight here, Bob.
Starks short with it, and Pippen clears it.
So you can't take wild shots like that. At this point in time in the game, you're down 10 with 3 minutes to go. There's still a lot of time. You got to get tight, and you got to execute.
Michael hammered as he goes to the hole. 3 defenders there. You may have to see this a second, maybe third, fourth, fifth, and sixth time before you believe it. Here it is again. Oh, yeah.
You know, look at the reaction from the bench. Those two guys in terms of Winnington and Buechler, they have the best job. Look at them. They have the best job in the world because they get to practice and play with that guy every single day.
Try to make that at that angle in a game of horse, unguarded. I give you 10 tries, and I still like my chances.
You won.
Even with the hat, I'm sure you can recognize the boss, Bruce Springsteen. But you know what? Even with Springsteen in the house, if Michael's playing, there's only one boss.
And there he is on the free throw line.
If we're down to just a few glory days, he's making the most of them.
Well, the line in this song is "Glory Days, they'll pass you by." But this guy on the free throw line, his glory days has yet to pass him by. He's still in his glory because he loves what he's doing.
Michael with 41 after the free throw. Make it 42, and the Bulls have their biggest lead. They're up by a dozen. 95-83. Michael moving in for the steal, and the save for Harper. Harper now all the way to the bucket. Hits it, and he's fouled.
See, this is when Chicago takes your heart. They know that they may possibly run into New York again in the playoffs, so they want to plant it in their minds that you'll never beat us. Now watch Jordan shoot the lane and makes a steal, and he jumps and throws it. Now watch Harper as he comes down and uses his body to shield off Oakley. Takes it to his strong hand, which is his right hand. Oakley tries to foul him, but Harper seals him off.
Is there anyone who loves a grand stage and knows what to do with it like Michael Jordan? Here's Mills. Just about over now. Down by 15 with 3 minutes to play. Starks spinning and losing it. Loose ball battle for Oakley is there, tying up Harper. What's on NBC tonight, you ask? We begin with Dateline, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Then a world premiere movie. A college covers up a campus rape involving a star athlete. A young woman is out to uncover the truth. Melissa Joan Hart stars in Silencing Mary at 9 Eastern, 8 Central after Dateline, NBC tonight. Houston has it off the jump ball.
Now, look at Chicago's defensive pressure. They're up 15 with less than 3 minutes to go, and they're still scrambling around like they're down 2.
Starks open for a 3 and connects with it.
That's the beautiful thing about watching Chicago play, is that they play every single minute, every single second.
Here's a New York steal. Ward works it to Starks, gets it back from him. Head fake on Michael. Good ball movement. Mills inside. Harper got a piece of it, no foul.
Too indecisive. They passed up 3 wide open shots. One of those guys should have pulled up and knocked the shot down.
Here is Kerr. Finding Michael. Off the glass. No basket.
But you got an offensive foul on Steve Kerr. Charlie Ward was putting a lot of pressure on him. Those two were banging back and forth. And as Kerr punched it into the post, he turned around and pushed Ward off of him.
negating the Jordan hoop, so he's still at 42. Starks immediately lets it go and misses it. Chasing his own rebound into the corner with the save for Houston, who's fouled by Harper.
See, now you watch, you see Kerr pushes him off. Ward was all over him. Kerr gave him a little shove. The referee caught it and called the foul.
Perhaps lost in all the excitement over Jordan's game today as Houston misses is this guy, Steve Kerr, returning after missing 22 games with a fractured left clavicle and returning with confidence, hitting his first 2 3-point attempts. When they get their three-point shooter, a career 47% three-point shooter back to complement this offense, that could be a key in a stretch run.
It could be a key, Bob, but I still think that they need some presence and some force coming off the bench.
Pippen to the left hand. And he makes a bid to show up on the highlights tonight.
See, everybody feeds off of Jordan, and Pippen feeds off of him also.
Oakley scores at the other end, 26 for Pippen. Oakley with that basket now has 10 to go with 14 rebounds.
Now what Chicago will do now is try to run some clock, spread the floor, pass the ball around, get some movement, and then hit you with another dagger at the end.
Mills knocked it away from Pippen. Jordan has hit 17 of 33 to this point for 42 points. Looks like he won't get the triple-double. He had 8 rebounds and 6 assists a while ago, and he's stuck on those numbers. 8 boards, 6 assists, 42 points, and now he leaves. To a standing ovation. Some of the crowd has left, but most of it remains, and an appreciative ovation for Jordan.
And the thing that I like most about what we've just seen is Phil Jackson's understanding for Jordan, understanding how this is a special moment for Jordan, and he lets the crowd acknowledge him.
Pippen turns and fires, and Scotty is short. Harper trying to keep it alive. Now it starts. Last minute, Chicago by 13. Brooks Thompson. Dickie Simpkins making his first appearance. He wears number 8. Lubara Dickie Simpkins out of Providence. They signed him after Jason Caffey was dealt to Golden State for David Vaughn. They released Vaughn. They brought Simpkins back, who had been with them for 3 seasons prior to this and knows their offense. Houston had to battle for that shot and puts it down, giving him 24, but most of it came in the first half.
Yeah, he was left out of the fourth quarter a little bit too long.
Pippen whips a pass into the lane for Harper, who has to chase it down. 6 on the shot clock. Kerr serving notice. He's back.
And Phil Jackson loves that he's back because it gives them such a big weapon now. Now they can really spread the floor.
Mills pulls up, misses a 3. Pippen has it, 5 seconds to play. Scotty will dribble it out. 1 game remains this year between the Knicks and the Bulls. They'll play it in April in Chicago. The Bulls have won all 3 this year, and 11 of the last 15 regular season games between the Knicks and Chicago have gone to the Bulls. 102-89 the final, and here's Ahmad with Michael.
Bob, Michael, another terrific performance here at Madison Square Garden. Was this one any more special than the ones you've had here before?
No, not really. I mean, I came in to play hard, and every time I come in here, it's always fun to come here. The basketball enthusiasts are watching the game. You want to play hard. You always got a challenging game with the Knicks. So, I mean, I don't take this game any lightly, than the other games. I got to come with the same focus, and today was no different.
The Bulls as a team seem to be, the continuity is much better. Is it that because Scottie Pippen is finally coming around off of that injury and getting into the flow?
Yeah, he is starting to get his rhythm. You can see that. And I think this week we had a chance to get some practices in, and we got more of a team rhythm. And today we came out, and I think we played a good all-around basketball game for a good period of the game.
Now, what about the shoes? See, now, this was a gesture for the New York crowd, and it's one that your feet probably weren't looking forward to.
Well, I was joking with my wife at home, and I said, you know what? We're going back to New York. Why not break out the new shoes, or the old shoes, actually? And, it's been a long time since I wore them, and it kind of you know, it's kind of fun to come back here and play and remember some of the old days and some of the things that, you know, some of the games that I've had here. And the shoes is a part of that. So, you know, my feet are killing me. But it was fun, though. It was fun.
I figured because, see, when you had those were 12, and you wear a 13 and a half now.
They shrunk a little bit. I think they have. But, you know, it's fun. You know, the shoes just mean shoes. I think you have to still go out and play the game. And, you know, that's a big pressure to come out here with some new shoes and, you know, making a statement. And still, you got to play the game of basketball.
All right. Congratulations on a great game, man. All right. Back to you, Bob.
Ahmad and Michael, thanks. Classic Chicago numbers. Jordan 42, Pippen 26, Rodman playing center for the injured Longley, 20 rebounds. The Bulls have won 11 of 12 since the All-Star break, and we'll be back.